attack having four players in double digits in Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic's return. We're going to talk about it all and more, break it all down, have some fun as only we can do here at Chicago Bulls Central. But first, we got to play that winning intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see red, I see red, I see red, I see red, yeah, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bull Central Pod with all social media platforms. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today. And the Chicago Bulls get the dub over the Charlotte Hornets. This is a game in which the Chicago Bulls didn't lead very much in the first half of this game, but they took advantage in the second half of the game, led the whole way through. Coby White leads the way with 22 points on 7 of 12 shooting and 3 of 6 from three-point range, 11 rebounds, 6 assisted. Coby White chip in this game. Very big production from Coby White and efficient game at that. DeMar DeRozan goes 6 of 10 for 17 points. Ayo Dosunmu with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Didn't chip in. DeMar DeRozan also had 6 points as well and 3 steals. Good defensive game from DeMar DeRozan, as long as the stats say. And then Zach LaVine, 15 points, going 6 of 11, 4 rebounds, 4 assists in his return. And then you look at Nikola Vucevic, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists in his return as well. Drummond with 7 and 10. Give it up to Drummond and 3 blocks as well for Andre Drummond. This was a solid game for the Chicago Bulls. There are some questionable times in defensive rotation and defensive things that shook out in the games at times, but the Bulls took care of business. They end up getting a dub, and that is the most important thing in this game. They end up winning the rebounding battle by 1 when it comes down to it. Also, when you look at points off turnovers, the Chicago Bulls won that 19-16. They were actually losing that battle in the first half of this game, as well as second chance points. We end up losing that 10-5, but we won fast break points 25-10 and bench points 38-22. Did the Chicago Bulls. Everything was working pretty well today, and I would honestly say, if it wasn't for me necessarily looking for it with Zach LaVine in his return, there was very little that really stood out as far as DeMar DeRozan, as far as Zach LaVine kind of looking off. Now, he was overpassing a bit in the first half, we know, to get in the rhythm, things like that. Defensively, though, it seemed like Zach LaVine came in and wanted to make sure that people understood, hey, I could play some defense when I want to. And Zach LaVine played pretty solid defense throughout most of this game. Dalen Terry gets the start in this game. I put a challenge out there to see Dalen Terry to get double-digit points. It did not happen, so I'm not taking shots. But he did have a really solid game from Dalen Terry in this game. Just really loved the way Dalen Terry played defense. Got 2 steals in this game. He also got 2 3-pointers in this game, more than Javon Carter. You know, that is what it is. 8 points from him, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 2 steals from Dalen Terry. Solid game from the second-year player coming in here, playing some meaningful minutes and getting his first start overall as well. So at the end of the day, man, listen, I really enjoy seeing the Chicago Bulls play the ball the way they did today, man. And like I said, the Zach LaVine, some kinks and things to work out for. But I'll say this, as far as a first game back for Zach LaVine, he did pretty damn good. And listen, it seemed like he fit in. He didn't try to overdo it offensively. If anything, like we said, we kind of wanted him to pass a little bit less, but efficient night, 6 of 11, only 1 for 5 from three-point range. That kind of makes sense. The three-pointers are really about getting your legs back under you. So maybe that's something that he definitely has to work on going forward. But other than that, man, I really like most of what Zach LaVine did in this game. And I feel like this is a really good jumping off point. Now, again, it was against the Charlotte Hornets. So I want to be clear there. Let's not act like we were like playing the biggest competition out there or anything like that. But we got the victory, and Zach LaVine scores 15 points in his return. And, you know, all those 15 points were needed. So really good aspect in that. Like seeing Zach LaVine come in and be able to do what he did. Vooch looked okay out there as well. I think with Vooch, he kind of feels more comfortable with the starters out there, but that's a story for another day. That's up for Billy Donovan. But the Bulls get their first win of 2024, a win that, you know, against a team that they should have beat, right? That's the biggest thing there. You beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and then you compete hard against the other teams. And so this is like I said, as a first game back with 2 days off now to get some more practices in, things like that before they face the Hornets again in Charlotte on Monday. This is a good jumping off point. I really like this. And considering we're missing AC, missing Patrick Williams, imagine when we get those 2 guys back, just how deep this Bulls team could be. And Terry Taylor playing minutes at the 4 may unlock something for Billy Donovan. Because I tell you what, once everybody's back, I really don't want to see any of Alex Caruso at the 4. Dalen Terry did okay tonight, even though technically he started at the 3. DeMar was at the 4. But I really do think that Terry Taylor, in the minutes that he gave you at the 4, could have theoretically opened up some more minutes for himself once everybody's back. He only plays 9 minutes in this game, but he gets 5 points, going 2 of 3. No rebounds. He did get 1 block shot. But hey, I mean, Billy Donovan may be able to use Terry, even if it is only a 9-minute stretch each game. Would I rather see Julian Phillips? Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather see Julian Phillips get those minutes, but Terry Taylor played pretty well for the Chicago Bulls today. So really good win, winning by 13 points against an inferior team. Let's see if they can keep it up. Let's see if they can do it again Monday, right? 2 days off, get some practices in there. See how Zach LaVine's recovering, and him and Vooch are feeling after playing quite a bit of minutes. Zach LaVine played 29 minutes. Nikola Vucevic played 24. That's almost what they would play had they been in the starting lineup. So see how their bodies respond to that, and then we can get back to work, y'all. So really good. I want to hear from you how you guys feel about the return of Zach LaVine and everything. DJ Reese B says, let's go. What's going on, fam? Glad to have you in the building. He also chips in, y'all see that 3 by DT? 2 of them tonight. 2 of them from DT. Shout out to Dalen Terry, man. Desharo, let's go. Let's go, bro. Absolutely, man. Bulls had a good win tonight, Haize. Let's see on Monday. Exactly. Like, let's see on Monday. This was a good win, incorporating 2 players back, one that had been out over a month, one that's been out for 7 games. And now we can see how they're going to continue to go forward, right? And, at the end of the day, I like I said, I like more than I dislike in this return game from Zach LaVine. Shay says, I know this is a little bit off topic, but this year's already starting crazy with Cat. Well, we already talked about that. We already talked about that in actually the pregame show, brother. Just checking in to say, let's go Bulls. Really like what I saw from Zach tonight. That one's from Let's Talk Bulls. Completely agree with you, man. Shay's in the building, says, like it or not, Kobe White is the player of the game. He has to be, because he's the only one that seems like he was letting the game come to him tonight. Hey, and that's one thing that Zach LaVine returning can do for Kobe White, right? You have an additional scorer out there, him and Vooch, right? You have additional players out there that are threats, and teams have to guard. And so because of that, it's going to open up some more things for Kobe. And so I'm glad to see Kobe White between the last game and this game. The fact that his 3-point shot looks like it's coming back to him. And Kobe White's back to being the player that makes an impact. 22 points tonight, 11 rebounds from your point guard, 6 assists. That triple-double is coming for Kobe White at some point in time this season. He's going to get one this season, man. JK in the building says, really good game. I like what Zach did. I just wish he wouldn't have passed up some of those shots. But like I said, JK, in the halftime hangout, you would much rather say that, hey, Zach could take a couple of more shots than say Zach is shooting the ball too much. He's playing selfish. So I get that, and that's a legit critique. I'm not coming at you for that critique, but just think about it. If it was the opposite of that, I think we'd be a little bit more concerned if Zach LaVine came back, wasn't playing within the offense, and gave more concern. So him coming back in the way that he did, and us saying, hey, he was passing maybe a little too much. I think that's a good problem to have with where we are right now. That's what I think. Shay says, I like how Zach LaVine was playing defense tonight. Yeah, you got to give credit for Zach LaVine and the defense he played tonight. He was active. He was engaged. He didn't back down. He did all the things that you want to see from a player on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, he's not a lockdown defender by any stretch of the imagination, but he absolutely came in and took care of business. So that's what you want to see, man. Haize, take the shot, man. DT, he's not in double figures. What are you talking about? He's not. He scored 8 points. So no, don't have to take the shot. Don't have to take the shot. Jake from State Farm says, Zach was looking good, fitting into the offense tonight. Great team effort, and it felt like Bulls had control the whole game. Well, I mean, listen, the Charlotte Hornets led more than the Bulls in the first half of the game. But other than that, yeah, the Bulls had pretty much control. It really seemed like the Bulls were incorporating 2 other players, so that kind of makes sense with things as well. But ultimately, they took care of business. Ultimately, they took care of business, man, and that's what you want to see from a team. Take care of business. That's what you want to see, and that's what the Bulls did. They took care of that business. Zachary is back. I hate when people add the whole Zachary thing when it comes to Zach. Like, it is what it is. Let's see. We got Taurus Law in the building. It says, Haize, I thought I took too many eddies when I saw DT hit 2 threes. Love this win. Hey, yeah, DT came in and he played. He gave some really solid minutes to Dalen Terry. I get that Zach is just coming back, but 1 in 5 from 3 concerns me. He's only 34% on the season. As I said, Tristan, though, it should not in one game. Now, if he comes back and we're 4 games into Zach LaVine being back and he's still shooting 30-something% from the field, then it's time to be concerned. But I'm not, nothing's going to concern me with this first game back because he was out so long, and the timing and things like that, it does take a while for players to get that back. So I'm not holding it against him. It's fair for you to. You don't have to have the same standards I do. So I would never say that you're crazy or wrong for holding Zach to that level. I'm just giving Zach a little bit of grace because he's been out so long and the fact that he's just coming back. So Kenan Peacock says, very nice second half. A little concerned to see Kobe grabbing that wrist is so much, though. Yeah, I mean, listen, the wrist thing is probably going to – you remember the season where Zach LaVine had that torn ligament in his thumb? And at some point, he said, it's not going to get any worse. The only thing it could do is get better. I probably need surgery in the offseason. Not saying that Kobe's going to need surgery, but it's probably – that wrist is probably going to be bothering him the rest of the season unless they work in to give him a week or two off, which around the All-Star break that may come. But I just think that wrist is probably going to be bothering Kobe for the better part of the rest of the season. So, and we'll see. Maybe Zach LaVine comes back. Maybe this team starts rocking and rolling, and then you do look at Kobe and say, we're going to get you a couple of nights off on a back-to-back. Maybe that happens or something like that. Good game to get back into winning rhythm. Let's hope it continues as our competition gets tougher. Yeah, we still have the easiest schedule left in the NBA, but it does get tougher here in the middle, and it really eases up considerably after about January 15th. But we still we got another game against Charlotte coming up on Monday. Houston, which has been playing really good. Golden State Warriors, which you can never really overlook Golden State, especially with their strengths and how they play into the Bulls. The Spurs, the Cavs, Toronto, Memphis, Phoenix, LA, Portland, Toronto, and Charlotte again. That takes us to the end of the month. So a lot of those games are winnable games, right? And then it gets easier even after that. So there you go with that one. Zach Hader can't say shit. I mean, you can legitimately critique some things about Zach's game. But again, like I said, I'm not going to, because at the end of the day, it's his first game back from a month off. Nice to see Zach back. Kobe kept his confidence. Looking forward to Zach staying. I mean, I still don't think that's going to probably be the outcome, but hey, weirder things have happened. Chris Corvino in the building. Why is it? It's like showing every other comment. Javon ain't played bad today either. At least he had 7 points. Yeah, at least he did score. Now, it's still, and at this point, I may just be over the Javon Carter thing, and that just may be a personal thing on me. So there you go with that one. Haize, take that shot, man. He's not in double digits. What are you talking about? Do you know what double digits mean, Sydney? You keep trying to tell me to take a shot. He's not in double digits. So what are you talking about? As long as Zach plays within the offense like this, let's hold him hostage. But DeMar has to get with the program on the offensive end too. DeMar's been with the program on the offensive end, though. The thing is that DeMar is always, by the nature of how he scores, is always going to slow the team down a little bit. But it's also high efficient offense. So DeMar is with the program is what DeMar DeRozan can get. He's playing really good in it. So I don't know where that shot at DeMar came from, but hey, it is what it is. Eli 23 says you should take a shot for that steak and dime Terry had. No, I'm not taking a shot. I laid out a challenge. The challenge didn't get hit. That's it. There's no consolation shots. What are we talking about here? It'd be different if we beat a bigger team. Like, had we beat like the Celtics, I'd take a shot regardless. We beat the goddamn Hornets. I'm not taking no shot for beating the Charlotte Hornets. What are we talking about? Seeing a 3 from DT was like seeing a unicorn in Florida, and 2 of them tonight. Mind blown. I hope it becomes the norm. We need that spacing. Well, listen, Dalen Terry still has to work on that shot some, but it is what it is, man. Great sample, but I want to see if Chicago can keep it going. Hope Kobe is fine. He started just walking after that fall late in the fourth quarter. He'll be okay. Hey, stop talking about get rid of Zach LaVine. First of all, my name ain't Haize. Secondly, we don't have a Zach LaVine on the team. So Tanya, I don't know who, what, or where you're talking about. None of it. English language, please. That's what I got to say on that one. Archangel in the building. Why does it keep doing this? Actually glad P. Will and AC got to sit out. Let him heal up for when we really need him. I mean, listen, and so the way that you look at it is this, right? What the Bulls did by giving AC and Patrick Williams time off, we played last time we played before this game was Wednesday. So you're basically giving them from Wednesday to Monday off, potentially. You're not really, during the season, it's really hard to get that many days off. So let them sit one game, rest up with their respective injuries, and then come back and attack it. So Tanya with the $2. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate you for the super chat and supporting the channel. I think Zach was doing his job to be a great teammate, but it was also how he needed to play if he still wants to trade. Good for both sides either way. Facts, and that's what the biggest thing. Both sides are benefited by Zach LaVine playing well and contributing to how this team was playing and winning basketball. Now is the time for the Bulls to get locked in and stay focused. The Bulls have a very winnable schedule looking ahead. They really do. They really do. I'm hoping we just mesh and take off now. That Zach and Vooch are back. We are a good team. I just want them to continue to show it because I'm tired of people telling me they trash. I mean, listen, that's just it. It comes with the territory, man. The Bulls have had a rough decade for the most part. Immortal Beast says, good defense, great hustle, and efficient scoring from the team. This was a good bounce back win. See red. Absolutely. And you need those tune-up games, is what I call them, right? The Charlotte Hornets are a tune-up game. You see them on schedule, it's a tune-up game. Zach off the pine, working mighty fine, Haize. Let's see him do that with Kobe in the starting lineup, though. If he really bought in, it should work out kind of like with Lonzo. Lonzo, completely different player. A completely different player, Lonzo and Kobe White. So you really can't make that comparison because Lonzo at that point when he was playing with the Bulls was basically just a three-point shooter. But yeah, it's a bit different out there. Sydney says, do you like their level of play? I just hopped on. Obviously, they need to get used to playing with one another again. But if they keep it up and improving, they'll be a tough team to beat. Yeah, I like the way it could definitely be refined, right? But that's every team. They play really well today, man. Play really well today. Are we gonna talk about multiple games of Kobe having 3+ turnovers? I mean, yeah, he had 3+ turnovers. Okay. When we was forcing turnovers, getting max steals, that was beautiful. We need to keep playing hard on defense and get some plucks, and Io getting those blocks was nice. Here's what I'll say though. The players that we have that are best at deflections, the two of them, they were both out today. So with how the Bulls forced turnovers tonight, imagine having AC and Patrick Williams out there as well. Now, you're probably not going to play Dalen Terry as many minutes, so take that away a little bit, but it's definitely, the Bulls definitely got some potential out here. Definitely. The bench unit looked good with Zach on it. It did. I mean, having a scorer out there with that bench unit, it does look really good. Do you think we should keep the team together? I mean, listen, I think that if you keep this exact team together, I don't think that the ceiling doesn't rise much on it. I do think you need some type of changes, whether that be drastic changes on the bench, whether it be some changes in the starting lineup. I don't think that this same exact team ever gets out the first round, but I could be wrong with it. We haven't really seen it all at full power. Zach's coming back. Kobe wasn't this player before Zach went down. DeMar and Vooch and Zach were all shooting at their career lows as far as shooting percentages, so that should improve some. And we have better balance now too. I think these minutes that we're getting Dalen Terry now, and I'm not even just talking about what I'm starting. Don't be surprised if this pays off really big as the season goes on for the Bulls. Because keep in mind, Torrey Craig is not more than likely coming back until about the end of February, March area. So that's a lot of time for Dalen Terry to continue getting minutes, and we're seeing the game slow down for him. And Dalen Terry's the type of player that, and it may not happen this season, maybe next season, maybe even the season after, but he's the type of player that off the bench with that energy and defense, it can really change some things for your team. So that's something to look out for as well. We got Vern in the building. Says, sup, bro? Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Donovan, I believe this squad can work with our core three with a couple of upgrades, but this new offense is more beneficial for everyone. Yeah, I mean, this is how the Bulls talked about on media day of playing. This is how they talked about playing. And it came all together, of course, after Zach LaVine went down, but other things were happening too. And so now that they've seen this, they've had success doing this, hopefully something that they can continue doing. Dalen Terry, that's Dalen's brother, I'm guessing, will gradually increase his minutes. I don't see why not, since he has been playing well and he's strengthening the bench with his play. Facts. And I mean, as long as Torrey Craig's out, definitely. And then, if he keeps playing this type of way, once Torrey Craig comes back, you may phase out Javon Carter. I mean, not Javon Carter. He's not on the team. Yeah, Javon Carter. What the hell? I thought I said Javonte, but yeah, Javon Carter. You can then possibly fade out Javon Carter from this team, and he's not really playing well for the Bulls. So Shout out to Billy D for giving DT the confidence he needs, and Peter Patton is doing a good job. Shout out to him as well. Facts. Simp, I guess. Oh, the ball movement tonight was amazing. We need to continue that. That's a big fact. Definitely need to continue the ball movement. See, ball movement. Inside joke. Tony in the building says Zach moves at the basket tonight were just too sweet. Glad to have you in the building. Terry Bailey says Terry Taylor is the perfect fit for Javonte Green's role we're missing. No, he's not nearly the energy or shot blocker. I don't agree with that, but he can play some. Not gonna lie, I was worried Vooch might aggravate something again with that posted dunk. I mean, he may have. He may not feel it. The adrenaline was rolling. You always love it when Vooch gets a poster dunk in there, man. Young players getting more minutes is never a bad thing because we want them to grow. Only way to grow is to actually. That's not the only way to grow. That is a way to grow. Julian Phillips do something, get on Billy's shit list. Maybe he stole some of his gum. Outside joke, technically. Zach sounds like he knows he's out of Chicago during the after game interview. I mean, it's possible. Locked on tonight? Yeah, we'll be doing a 15-minute joint. Thanks, bro. Glad you remember the reference. Got to, man. Got to. You know how it goes, man. Oh, jangling head ass with that ball moving joke. Hey, I mean, it is what it is, man. For those that understand, they understand. That's crazy. But it's really good to see the Bulls execute the way that they did tonight, man. Like I said, overall, considering I won't say they necessarily exceeded my expectations, but it was close to it. Like I didn't know what to expect with Zach. Like I've been saying for a while now. It was a couple of different ways that it could go. It could come back and be beautiful. It could came back and be really ugly. It can come back and be somewhere between that. But at least today, it came back and it worked. It mainly worked, and it looked really good and flawless. And you could see how this could benefit Zach's game as well as Kobe, right? As well as helping Kobe be better. And so having bringing Alex Caruso back, bringing Patrick Williams back, those type of things are going to be really important to see, because once those players are back too, if we can keep playing like this, man, that's really, really good. Drummond has been really solid for us on the rebounding lately. Always. Drummond's always been solid for us on the rebounds, brother. Don't disrespect that man by saying lately. If we continue to play well and Zach stays, who would you want to add with the Lonzo trade except we don't have a trade exception for Lonzo. We have a disabled player exception. Now keep in mind, we can't use that without going into the luxury tax, unless they do they get creative in some other ways. So more than likely, we're probably not going to be using that, brother. Now, hopefully people won't have to dip their. That's funny. That joke is never going to end, huh? Big man dunks for Vooch and Drum. Hey, listen, you always get big man dunks from Drum. Drum is I love to see Drum just when he dunks on somebody strong, man. When he doesn't do all that tapping, put back things, and just takes it strong. That's whoa. Let's celebrate another Chicago Bulls win. I see red. Let's go Bulls. Absolutely agree with you, brother. Absolutely agree with you. Philip McCracken says people talking about Zach not hitting threes, but how many in the paint scores did Vooch miss or has missed all season? I like Vooch. That poster was nasty. Yeah, I mean, but I don't. The comparisons, two very different comparisons, right? Two very different comparisons. But I get what you're coming from with that one. If we don't trade Vucevic, we will lose DeRozan. What? Where did you get that at, brother? I would really like. I know I reacted, but I would really like to know, where do you get that if we don't trade Vooch, we lose DeRozan? I'm just really interested to know where you're coming from with that. I hope Zach was liking the way they played tonight and see himself fitting in. Also love Kobe's confidence, remain with Zach in the rotation. Hope Pat keeps his level of play too. That's crucial. Facts. That's definitely crucial there. You was choosing your words so carefully until the end. I know. I was trying. But then I had to realize, at some point, you just got to say it. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Anybody who says trade Vooch again this season gets excommunicado. Seaway's World, glad to have you in the building. Haize, not going to lie, I miss the days of Omer Sheik, Luol Deng, D Rose, and Butler. This team really feels like this when they're cooking. Azul says salary cap. Then you're just wrong, and you don't understand how the salary cap works. The Chicago Bulls absolutely can re-sign DeMar DeRozan without needing to send away Nikola Vucevic. I don't know what you're talking about. I know I sound like an asshole right now. Don't get me wrong. I know I sound like an asshole, but like I really, for the life of me, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to evolve, but that's stupid. Like that, like it's just there. It doesn't make any sense, brother. Like it just doesn't make any sense. The Bulls can re-sign DeMar DeRozan. Hell, they were trying to extend him now. You don't need to trade Nikola Vucevic to re-sign DeMar DeRozan. I don't know where you're getting that, brother. I don't know where you're getting that at all. Technically, the Chicago Bulls have $41 million underneath the luxury tax next year. $41 million. They could re-sign both DeMar DeRozan and Patrick Williams. So what are you talking about, bro? You got to stop doing cocaine. You got to stop doing cocaine. Got to stop. Let's see what we got here. Kobe is a dog. I love his improvement. Facts. Kobe White, the leap that he's taken this year is crazy. I love Vucevic, but the Bulls' ownership is cheap. We can't keep all the. No, you don't understand the salary cap. Like really, stop talking if you don't understand the salary cap because you are far off, bro. Far off. Love Kobe had his playing great, and along with Zach in the lineup. Yeah, I like the fact what we've seen there, and if they can build on it, it can get even better. I can't wait to see Pat Will fits now with Zach in the lineup. I hope he can make it work. I mean, listen, Pat was getting 10 shots a game. That's not hard to make that work, especially with the way that Pat was getting his shots. Shooting the ball as soon as he got it when he was open. Taking players off the dribble, opportunities may go around, but following shots, being active, that's the type of thing. So, Haize, near the beginning of the season, Javon was balling out. Javon wasn't balling out at any this point this season. There was never a point this season where Javon Carter was balling out. I don't know where you're getting from with that. Let's go into the history books, right? Let's go look at the game log. We're gonna go all the way back to make sure I'm not tripping. So let's talk about it. First game of the season this year. Javon Carter, 1 for 4 for 3 points. Second game of the season, 0 for 2. Third game of the season, 1 for 6. Fourth game of the season, he did go 5 of 7 for 11 points. Fifth game of the season, 12 points. Seventh game of whatever. Next game of the season, 5 points. 8, 3, 6, 3, 0, 9, 0, 3, 0, 0. Where was he balling out? Where? I just ran down that man's stat line for basically the whole season. Where was he balling out? Javon Carter has never balled out for the Chicago Bulls. Haize be like, I'm trying to be nice, then goes on to say something not nice. Listen, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Herter, Barnes, and Davion or CP3. None. Like, wait, I'd rather take the Kings deal because keep CP. Why are y'all so obsessed with CP3? Keep CP3 off this. I don't know, Haize. There was definitely a time we called Javon, Craig, and Caruso the 3 Cs. I mean, playing well is different from balling out. And he was playing well as far as moving the ball and playing well defensively. I just went through his stat line. The dude sucked the whole season. Haize, what's your dream trade deadline scenario for the Bulls? I don't have one. I don't have one. Just do what you got to do. I only count one good game for Javon and it wasn't even good. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? What was the point of even getting Javon Carter? Well, theoretically, he was going to bring somebody that could stretch the floor and play solid point of attack defense. It didn't work. It didn't work. Does Pat and AC wait, what's that middle shit you got going on there? What language is that? Me and TT and J, bro, you got stop abbreviating, man. Writing full sentences, bro. Don't nobody want old ass CP 1853. That is hilarious. I'm not sure what part of the season it was, but I remember Javon was one of our best shooters, and I think he was leading the Bulls in 3-point shooting percentage or second leading. I don't know where. Again, Javon Carter. So the first month of the season, 27% from 3. Second month of the season, he had an okay second month of the season. He had an okay November, 38%. But again, He only had 2 double-digit games that whole month, and a lot of times he just stopped shooting. I don't know where that came from. Like, Javon Carter has been mid at best the whole season. Not about CP3, but the young player. CP3 is just an upgrade from JC. Nah, I'm good on that because that contract makes it not an upgrade. It's different when you don't give shit and you get paid $6 million versus when you don't give shit and you're getting paid over 20. That's a huge difference there. Does Pat and AC mean we don't have to watch TT and JC anymore? Maybe you still may see some of them, but not as much. Not as much. Oh shit, Petty Roosevelt. I didn't even do nothing Petty Roosevelt like. What are you talking about? I've been very humble and chill today. Do you think we can sign LaMarcus Aldridge if he comes out of retirement? Why would we want to? What are we doing here? Y'all trying to see if y'all can get me to go off. I don't know why we rushing the Zach trade. When we just going to complain about it for months. I mean, that's going to happen either way. It's not rushing it. It's just realizing that there's a reality that it may come. I hope Zach was liking the way they played. Now you already see Sydney. Stop leaving the same comment multiple times, Sydney. What are we doing here? I expect better from you, Sydney. I expect better. I'm not hurt. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Sydney's my people. Archangel says Javon has good stats against us. Maybe that's funny. I'm sure Javon Carter lights it up in practice every single day. Dalen Terry was looking comfortable out there tonight. He had a good game. Facts. He really did have a good game. That's 100% factual. Which player could you see getting decent minutes next year, Drell or Bateem? Ooh, that's actually a good question. Based off play alone, Drell. Based off the fact that I think that they would trust Bateem a little bit more, Bateem. I think it's really a crapshoot. Billy is a good coach. Now, great. He kind of admitted as much in the recent interview. He needs very specific players for a system to work. It's good that he's come to that realization, right? Because that's something that we've all come to. Yes, Billy Donovan is not a horrible coach. He's not a great head coach. He's somewhere in the middle. Like most 95% of coaches are in that middle area. He does need very specific players or a specific type of play style for a system to work. He's very star reliant. And if he can have a point guard playing at a high level, it always makes the system look better. So, Haize, if they can't get you drunk, they're going to make you get petty. That's hilarious. Any idea of how biting got his nose messed up? He went to the strip club with JDH. Haize, do you think the Bulls could pull off a LaVine trade for Cole Anthony and Mo Wagner? Since the Magic are winning and probably can use a star to take them to the next level, or LaVine's tarnish. I don't know if the Magic are looking to disrupt what they currently have going on right now with a trade of that magnitude because they are playing so well. I'd say this, I wouldn't mind that trade at all. I'm not the biggest Cole Anthony guy. Let me just be clear here. I do really like Mo Wagner for what he is and what he brings. Now, the Orlando Magic have started losing. They have lost 3 in a row. So maybe they could look at how they were, because at one point they were like, 4th, 5th in the East. Maybe they do look at that and say, hey, maybe if we just bring in somebody who can really score and fill it up, that it may take us to the next level. Maybe. I don't think this is a crazy question. I'm not as in tune with the Orlando Magic's like front office methodology for me to be able to answer that. So. All of a sudden now we got to when you add 2 players to your team when you were missing them, that's going to deepen your bench quite considerably, right? It's like when you add 2 fingers in it, like it just. I'm gonna shut up. Petty Roosevelt hasn't been seen since Zach went out. That was on Bear Central. I definitely let Petty Roosevelt out. Haize, what's going on with Julian Phillips? Seems like he's falling out of favor to me. Falling? He's out of favor. Ain't no falling. Dude's in the abyss. He's in the sunken place right now, according to the lineup in rotation. So, that is what it is, man. Seeing Vooch out there again was nice to see, even if some of those easier shots didn't fall for him. Vooch missing bunnies, man, sucks. But it was good to see everybody out there, right? It was good to see kind of how the bones of this could work potentially if everybody stays locked in and engaged and what it could end up being. Definitely fun to see that. What do you think it would take for Phillips to get his 6 minutes back? Like what scenario? Dalen Terry would have to be out. Terry Taylor would have to be out. The Easter Bunny would have to come and personally take one of the Easter eggs and shove them up. Craziness would have to happen. John Michael says, Haize, the next 4 games seem winnable. Charlotte, Houston, Golden State, and San Antonio. Wouldn't that be a nice 5-game winning streak? Why not, right? Listen, let's do it one game at a time. Houston has the best, I think, defense in the NBA. So you can't just say, regardless of the record, that's. I mean, is it winnable? Yeah, but they technically have the best defense in the NBA right now. So that's gonna be interesting game to watch. Is Javon Carter another Wisconsin team spoiler like Green Bay people on the Bears? Because he cooked us a few times when he was playing for Milwaukee. Maybe. James Evans says, it's no fun if you don't go off. Haize, man. Love your show. For real, Chi-Town. Appreciate you, brother. Really appreciate you, man. Sports Report says, too much hate on LaVine. I can't watch another wide open miss by Io and not think how much I'd rather have LaVine shoot that shot. Well, hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But I feel where you're coming from on that. But you still want Io to be able to knock down open ones. Look, Sydney, you're doing it again. You left this comment 4 times. What are we doing? Stop it. Kappa the Great in the building says, I don't think Phillips played bad to warn him being in the abyss. I agree. I think Phillips, he looked like a rookie who hadn't played a lot of minutes. And you only get out of that by playing more. So Davin Winslow says, after Vooch missed a bunny fade, the next time he made sure with that pass fake and dunk. Yeah, hey, listen, that dunk was nasty. You got to give it up to Vooch. That dunk was absolute nastiness. She said you're going to see her comment. Nice win. Let's go Bulls. Absolutely. Do you guys honestly think Javon Carter has been bad for us? I mean, listen, bro, yes, I do personally. I don't think he's played good at all. We can put it to a poll though. I mean, we can definitely do that. Let me get the poll up. No, that's not that one. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Hold on. Let's get the poll up. Whoa, what just happened? There you go. All right, poll is up. Go vote on the poll. Let's see how Bulls. Has Javon Carter been good for the Bulls? Simple yes or no. And we'll see how everybody, 82% already at no. Oh, fun fact, I'm going to Family Fest tomorrow. I get to meet the Bulls player and check out the locker room. I don't know why I'm so nervous to meet players. I'm going to try to look good. Hey, throw that thing in a circle for me. Let me stop playing. I didn't realize how wide Dalen Terry's wingspan was. When his frame fills out, he's going to be tough on defense. I don't know how much Dalen Terry's going to fill out, though. Like, when you look at his frame, I don't know if he really has that frame to fill out a lot. But, hey, we'll see. Let's see. If Patrick Williams continues to be mediocre in terms of stat-wise, doesn't live up to his potential for the Bulls, how many more seasons until the Bulls give up on him? He hasn't been. I mean, mediocre is cool. Like, Patrick Williams at the bare minimum is going to be a 3-and-D player with really, really good defense, and he still has potential. He's only 22 years old. Patrick Williams isn't going anywhere anytime soon, bro. Anytime soon. Winning usually cures all ills. The next month is going to go a long way towards seeing the direction the Bulls take after the season. Completely agree with you. Teamwork makes the dream work. Shout out to COD. Terry was a lot better than Terry Taylor. Dalen Terry was a lot better than expected. A lot better. I got to give credit for that. Really like the way that Dalen Terry came out and played today, man. He played really good for the Chicago Bulls. How much should we be willing to pay people? I've said it before. I've done an episode on it. $15 to $18 million is probably a good starting point for Patrick Williams. 15 to 18 million is probably where he's going to be. So, but all right, y'all, going to get ready to wrap it up. But we got to go over there and do Locked On Bulls, man. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, as tomorrow's the mailbag, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Still headed towards our goal of 20,000 subscribers by the end of the season. But like I like to end everything on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See Red if you can, y'all. And peace. And we got to play that winning outro.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.
I see bread, I see bread, I see bread, I see bread, yeah, I see bread.